Hey guys, this week's podcast, we got to interview Cheryl Brost. She's a friend of mine who's come into the gym and actually joined in one of my classes. Her and her husband are great people. She's a 3-time CrossFit champion for the Masters division. She's one of the fittest ladies in the whole world. And we got to interview her on how she got into CrossFit, her story of her love for fitness, coming all the way from her college athletic background all the way through. And then where it really ties into where I think a lot of our listeners will really enjoy is her just ability to fight and come back from so many injuries. Now, she's very, very frank that CrossFit doesn't cause these injuries. We do a really good job of kind of going over how in any sport or anything that's physical that you're really trying to maximize full potential, there's always going to be a risk of injury. And so her ability to have a positive attitude, think through adversity with an optimistic outlook is one of the best I've ever heard from. So I hope you really enjoy this episode. She's a phenomenal person and it's a great listen. So check it out. I'm here with my guest friend and 3-time, you probably hate this, Games Champion, Cheryl Brost. So yes, it's so good to have you. You're in Hawaii. I'm in Florida. We're both in a fun sunshine state, but yours probably is a lot cooler. I feel like mine is just hot.
Yeah, you have a little more extremes, it feels like, than
y'all do. Yeah.
Yeah, both good places.
Well, anyways, you got training today. You told me, you said, I got to hop off because I still have training. What is on your training for today?
Okay. Today's Tuesday. So we're doing this cycle. We've been doing every Tuesday. We do snatches.
Okay.
And today she's incorporating some overhead squats at the back end of the snatches. So it's like we'll be doing 10 sets. This is on the Invictus Masters platform training program. So we'll be doing 10 sets about every 2 minutes. You'll be doing, starts with 3 snatches, but you get 10-second rest between each rep. And then a couple overhead squats at the end of the 3rd snatch. Do that through a few sets, and then we narrow it down to two snatches with 10-second rest between again, and overhead squat down to all the way down to singles. And then on the conditioning today, we have some cardio and some core line work. So we're doing assault bike calories with max distance in the remaining time of sandbag carry with a minute rest. I think it's 5 or 6 intervals. And then we are going to finish up with some more core work. So we have an 10-minute EMOM of toes to bar, and in the first minute, and the second minute's GHD sit-ups.
Ooh, I've done a combo of that. That's bad.
And then we are going to also finish with a GHD, like plank hold.
Okay.
Supine plank hold.
Victus going some isometrics on you at the end, huh?
Yeah, we're going to get some core blasted today, I think.
What was the last time your core got like super, like you woke up, you're like, man, I'm sore. Do you ever get
Saturday.
That? Okay.
Saturday.
That makes me feel better that you still feel that, because I'm like,
so
man,
Saturday, yeah, coach programmed. Invictus puts together like some tribute workouts for some of their athletes they've had over the years. And my best friend, who you know, Nicole Abbott,
yeah,
it was her workout that they Invictus designed for her. And usually what they do is they, throw in the athletes' kind of favorite movements or, things that they're really good at. Mm-hmm. So it was 1,000-meter ski erg was the cash in, and you did 3 rounds of 20 toes to bar and 4 rope climbs, and then cashed out with 25 burpee box jump overs.
Ooh, that's a grippy one too, because you're hanging and then pulling.
Yeah, it was grippy, and ski erg is still something I'm trying to like. I'm not a tall athlete like you.
Yeah.
So it's still something I'm learning to love. But yeah, I was about halfway through that ski erg. I'm like, oh, I could already feel the core, getting a little blown up.
Do you and Nicole like send each other times and stuff daily? Y'all compete like that?
We do that quite regularly. she's kind of been on a little bit of a different path lately because she's battling a knee setback injury. So she's not like doing competitive training right now, but just training for life and just general overall fitness and trying to get her knee healthy again.
But
Yep.
yeah, but regularly when y'all are healthy, y'all
Oh,
get
yeah.
after it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool. I know Coach Kate at CrossFit has been doing
Yeah.
Invictus, and
Yeah.
she's always looking up your numbers and saying how she still hasn't been able to beat you. So
Oh,
she's game for it. She's a beast too.
dude, she just beat me yesterday on cleans.
Did she? Okay. Well, that's she. I just am reporting what she told me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not on
And she's got a
Invictus's
strong squat.
leaderboards.
She's a strong squatter and yeah, I can move that barbell pretty good too.
That's awesome.
It's good to see her
Well,
on there.
listen, we're gonna interview you today. We brought you on because comeback athlete. We work with lots of athletes who are no longer competing but still want to throw down and feel fit. And oftentimes, we did a survey recently with several people. I mean, all of our coaches launched it on social media, and two of the main things that came back were the people who were the comeback athlete avatar, where they were confused on nutrition, and then they were really scared of like getting hurt in training. So I know you've been battling a shoulder injury for a little bit, and looks like you're doing really well with snatching and all the snatching you'll be doing today.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about how that experience has been over the last 12 to 9 months, and what you've learned kind of through that.
Yeah, this is not my first go around with the injury setback. I've had 3 shoulder surgeries. One was actually from playing soccer, but the other
Was
2
that in
did.
college or post college?
No, post college. That was my first shoulder surgery. So it's back 2018. We had just finished the age group quarterfinals or online qualifiers, and so got through that, and I was healthy. Coach, gave us the permission to go out and have fun that week. Go out and do outdoor recreational activities, and I was still helping coach club soccer, my daughter's team. And so I decided to jump in on a scrimmage with them. And I literally just slipped and fell. I mean, I don't have very far to fall either. I just had a slip and fell and fell on that outstretched arm. And yeah, I got home. I'm like, couldn't move my shoulder. I couldn't abduct it away. And I was like, this doesn't feel good. So yeah, unfortunately,
Was it a labrum tear? Is that what you mean?
I tore the supraspinatus fully and labrum. Yeah.
Well, that's a long one.
So yeah, I'm sure I had some, over the years in training, as a competitive athlete, you get, setbacks, and I'm sure I've had some partial tears leading up to that, but was able to rehab them and get back to health. Anyway, so I didn't go to the games that year, 2018.
Yeah.
So I had surgery instead. And then my second shoulder surgery was in 2019. That was following the completion of the CrossFit Games.
Is that the last? Was that the
It was in the
shoulder?
finale. No, it was the other one.
Okay.
So
yeah, I remember in the finale you had a little dinged. You were a little dinged up, and it happened.
Yeah, so I had first one was my right shoulder, then the second one was my left shoulder. Pretty sure I injured it in the finale of the CrossFit Games. There was like a 3-part workout finale for us age groupers, and combination of toes to bar and chest to bar and bar muscle ups, and with a barbell, like snatches and that combination. And I finished the workout. It just started setting in later that day after the competition was over, and I was like, so
you still won? Did you win that games?
No, 2019. I think I took 7th.
7th place.
Yeah,
not bad for a torn shoulder.
Yeah, and then this last year I was again back at the games competing, and preface it, about 6 weeks prior, I had a training setback with the right shoulder. I was doing like a complex. I singled it down to, it was a complex. We were practicing toes to bar, chest to bar muscle up complex, and trying to string those together. And we also were at the very last week of a cycle, and we were actually, typically we do like 8-week cycles in the master's program, but I think we were on a 10-week cycle this particular time.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like, oh man, if I could just gotten through that last couple of days of that cycle, and then we had a deload after that. But anyway, I did something. I wasn't sure exactly what. I knew something was not right in there. But we went on a family vacation. My whole family went to a Europe vacation for almost 3 weeks. So that was like the week after I got hurt. And so I decided I'm just going to let it rest, try to stay as active as I can. We were on a cruise for most of the trip, which was a lot of fun. But they had a fitness center, but you're kind of limited on what you can do.
CrossFit stuff, for sure.
Which was probably a good thing, and allowed me time to really let that shoulder heal up and rest. And by the time I got back, and I had a month left to train for the games, and I felt good, was ready to compete, and got through day one, and that was a great day, and was getting ready to warm up for day two. I was warming up and was about ready to take the floor, and that's when my shoulder dislocated on a snatch, taking my last snatch in warm up area.
Oh,
dislocated, and I never felt a dislocation before, but it wasn't like a pop out, pop in thing. It was completely popped out. And I think looking back on it now, I had damaged my subscap back in June, at the end of June. And then that was a little compromised, and it just gave way. And yeah, there was people like, oh, did you get back in? Are you able to continue to compete? I'm like, oh, there's no way.
Yeah.
There's nothing there. So I tore, with that dislocation, I tore the subscap fully, the supraspinatus and the infraspinatus, all three.
And that was this last games.
That was this last games. So I had surgery September 24th. Same surgeon I've used in the last previous shoulder surgeries. He's great. He's on Oahu, so I have to fly over to Oahu for that. But this one's taken longer for sure. I know on the repair, he said he made it really tight in there.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't ever have that problem again with dislocating it. Before, I've always just had to recover from like a one full rotator cuff tear and labrum. And this one was a little bigger.
Yeah, that's
so
a big
one. A little longer.
So I'm sure each one of them has had their own journey, but let's talk about this last one since it's the most recent. What were some of the challenges mentally, like, to kind of get through when you're battling injury and then kind of getting back to where you want? What were some of the thought processes you had to go through?
Well, to be honest, the first few weeks of shoulder surgery are not fun at all.
Sure.
So just kind of wrapping your head around that and trying to put yourself mentally in like, okay, this is temporary, it may suck right now, but it'll get better. And then just started being able to just do what I can with what I have. Mm-hmm. And my surgeon is of the mindset of getting you moving as quick as you can. So physical therapy started like 2 days after my surgery.
That's great.
And yeah, just, soft tissue work, having the therapist moving my arm through safe range of motion, and staying on top of inflammation, and yeah. And I hit the gym and just, done it before, been through this rodeo again, and just, start doing things I'm able to do. It's just like, it's not pausing your game. It's just kind of turning in a different direction.
Yeah. Did you still go to the gym every day after surgery?
Probably 4 or 5 days a week. Yeah.
Yeah. And did you work with some people at Invictus to kind of help cater your program, or did you
Yeah. Because
know
yeah,
what to do?
it. I decided to switch from following the Invictus Masters program to they had one program called Functional Strength and Conditioning. So it's more dumbbell work, kettlebell, a lot of isometric, um, um, unilateral strength work, um, and obviously a lot of cardio. So not much barbell, not much lifting in terms of lifting. You just got your basic strength movements. So that one, I
Just trying
stuck
to
on that.
imagine you. I'm trying to imagine you right now, like doing snatches with one arm with a sling on the other arm. Was that accurate?
Dumbbell
Was that,
snatch, I guess. Yeah.
like I only know this because like for those of us, those who are listening, like Cheryl has come into our gym in Lakeland, Florida a couple of times because her daughter goes to school in Lakeland, Florida, and so she'll come drop in, and she's been at my 9 o'clock class, and I've watched her train. So I knew you had a shoulder issue, but I could definitely see you training with a sleeve on and just going
Yeah.
after it with a dumbbell.
Yeah.
Your commitment to fitness is flawless.
No, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a lifestyle now. I've been an athlete since I was a youngster.
Yeah, let's
And
talk about that. What got you into fitness? So you went and played college soccer, is that right?
mhm. Yeah,
Where did you play?
I played at Pacific Lutheran University in Tacoma, Washington. And back in that's like 100 years ago, but um, we were an NAIA Division I school at that time. And we uh, we had an amazing team. I strolled in as a freshman, and they had already won one national championship that year prior. And our coach is legendary, Colleen Hacker. She's a worldwide known mental skills coach. She's been a consultant to hundreds of professional athletes over her years. She's the After I graduated from PLU, a couple years afterwards, she became the women's national soccer team mental skills coach, and she's also done the same for ice hockey as well. So,
Okay.
just those credentials alone speaks to her caliber, and to go to a small school like PLU and to have that quality of caliber coaching was amazing. And so where she really excelled is team building, and also optimizing talent out of every single one of her players.
Mm.
And yeah, so we had the opportunity to play in 4 national championships my 4 years there. We won 2 of the 4. So it was just tons of fun. I also played a few years of basketball at PLU.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Are you a point guard?
Point guard. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what my wife
So,
played. My wife is a point guard.
yeah. I didn't know that either.
Well, she's a short lady too. She's
Yeah.
like 5'2", 5'3". So
Yeah. So,
not gonna be a shooting guard or a center at that height in college.
no, no. So, I grew up playing those 2 sports. Earlier on, I showed horses competitively up until I was a freshman in high school. Um, and let's see, our family's background is we were farmers, and so we were always busy in the summers. But in the wintertime, we would like to do family time together and hit the Bachelor ski resort, because that's when I lived in Oregon,
Okay.
and snowmobiling. So we always had a lot of good fun hitting the mountain and skiing and snowmobiling. Um, yeah, and I guess I did 1 year track in high school just for the heck of it.
Okay. But you actually played two collegiate sports. You played college basketball for a little bit, and then soccer was kind of your passion.
Yeah, yeah.
After that, you and your husband Troy got married shortly after that.
Yeah, we got married in 1993, so it's kind of dating us. But yeah, right after graduation, and went to work for my parents. We were going to be building this retirement community in Eugene, Oregon. So that was a fun project. I kept playing just recreationally on women's soccer teams, co-ed soccer teams. I got involved in some coaching at my alma mater high school, basketball, and I also did a few years of soccer there. And let's see, I was looking for something. I mean, that was fun. Like the recreational soccer was fun, but you didn't really get together and practice and train. You just showed up and played in the games. So my one of my good friends, who actually I played soccer with, she discovered CrossFit, and she's like, Cheryl, you need to come check this out. So this was December 2009. And so I went and had my first CrossFit class, and
What
it
year was
was
it?
2009.
2009. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, I just immediately fell in love with it. It kind of is the only thing I can think of that compared to being a part of a competitive team, but yet it was this individual thing, but you were doing
Hmm.
it all together, right? And I loved the training aspect of it. I loved showing up together with a group of people and, just wanting to improve and get better and figure this thing out
Yeah.
and motivate each other, inspire one another, get
Yeah.
stronger, get fitter.
There's an
So,
amazing human element to CrossFit where it's like moving and it's relationship and it's physical and
mhm.
um and it's like something you can do in a community and it feels good and it feels like I don't know, it feels I don't know. It's you have to do it, and it's why it became so cultic. Early in the
Yeah,
early stages, where people were like, kind of like was like, "This is our church. Come check our church out."
it kind of fills your cup up.
It fills your cup up. It's your community.
It's
Yeah, it has that team esque, and I think it's why it attracted a lot of former athletes like
yeah.
to CrossFit because it missed that connection you got from a team.
Hmm.
So
So that's what drew me to it. And the other thing about it is there's just so many darn many things that we do in CrossFit. It's always something to get better at. You never, you never seem like you quite get it perfected because there's just so
if
much to work on.
if you have a growth mindset, CrossFit is a lot of fun. Like
Yeah.
if you just enjoy growing and learning, but if you have
Hmm.
a fixed mindset and get frustrated, CrossFit
Yeah.
is like golf. It's like you just get angry. Because there's days your snatch will feel really like you got it, and there's days where
Yep.
you're like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. It was very humbling.
Yes, it is very humbling. So that's interesting. Did you do any weightlifting or training before that, or just play soccer recreationally?
Um, well, with sport, um, we had some weightlifting. I actually was probably one of the few girls in high school that did the weightlifting class with like the football and basketball players.
Okay.
Um, so I got some exposure then in high school. And then, coach for college would always send out our preseason training packet. And it was, more like universal type lifting, machine lifting and that sort of thing. And then once I got to PLU, we did have a gal that came in for basketball, and she was a certified Olympic weightlifting coach, and so she started working with us on some other type of lifts that I hadn't done before, and teaching us the basic of a snatch and jerks and things like that. So got a little more exposure there.
Yeah.
Um, But yeah, squatting, deadlifting, cleaning, I kind of knew those things, or at least had a basic elementary understanding of them before
Yes, when you
CrossFit.
walked in, you weren't as scared of a barbell. It wasn't like your first time ever touching one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did
And
you have
then
any gymnastic background at all?
Yeah, actually, I did wait. Like I was between age 7. I was at the National Academy of Artistics for Gymnastics in Eugene, but that didn't last too long. I think we went on a vacation, my 8th birthday, a family vacation to Disneyland. When we came back, I never went back to gymnastics. My mom said that the coach had wanted me to commit to, like enrolling in their more serious program, which would have been several hours a day
When you
with
were like,
us. Yeah, she didn't really give me a choice. She just kind of made that choice for me. But it wasn't real realistic for our family. Like I said, we were farming, we lived out rural area. So it would have been quite a commitment on everyone's part.
yeah, your mom was probably like, we're not driving all the way out here. We're not doing all
Yeah.
that. I
Yeah. And
feel bad.
what is she going to do in town for 3 or 4 hours, while I'm at the academy?
Yeah.
So ironically though, my friend Letitia, who told me that I played soccer with, that told me about CrossFit, she was a product of that gymnastics academy. Kind of
Oh,
kind of a small world there. But yeah, I was going to mention something else about.
all good. So
I
your
don't remember.
fitness kind of went from play college, did recreational sports all the way through. You and Troy were kind of building a business together.
Hmm.
And then you found CrossFit in 2009.
Yeah.
And then from there, where did you start saying like, okay, I think I could be like good at this. I really want to go like all in. Was there a moment with that? Was there like,
Yeah.
and by the way, I just am curious, did Troy jump in with you at 2009 or was he kind of like, not for me yet?
Well, about that, let me tell
Yeah, I knew
you.
this would be a good question.
So, yeah, you know how most people when they start CrossFit, like they just kind of jump full in, they go down the rabbit hole, like you're watching videos, you're trying to learn as much as you can. You're just like not only you're spending hour and a half or 2 hours in the gym, you're also at home keyboarding and like watching all these CrossFit videos and trying to, soak up as much as you can. I think
Hmm.
he was getting a little bit uh not bored, a little tired of me and my excitement about CrossFit and me talking about it all the time. So anyway, I like I said, I signed up in December 2009. I had no idea that there was any part of competition with CrossFit when I signed up. No idea. That didn't come along until like February. Um, and our affiliate owner, Jeremy's telling us one morning at class, hey, there's the CrossFit sectionals are coming up if anybody wants to throw their hat in the ring. I'm like, what's that? So he had to explain it. And there was quite a few of us from the gym like said, yeah, why not? Let's go do that. So we drive up to Portland. Portland was hosting the Oregon Idaho sectionals, and Troy has still not stepped in the CrossFit gym. Still hasn't like seen what it's about. So, but he goes up to the event, and he's just casually sitting back watching this 3 days, or I can't remember, it was 2 or 3 days, unfold. And that Monday morning, without telling me, he was at the CrossFit gym. And he
I
just
love it.
he would, if he was sitting right here, he would tell you, you know, watching the competition unfold and, watching us go through these events, he's like telling himself like, it's just a rope. Go climb the rope. Like, why are you resting? Go get up the rope. So yeah, it kind of sparked his fire. He was a collegiate football player and has a competitive side to himself as well. So anyhow, Monday he shows up, and we started class warm up. Right, I think that morning was just run 400. He couldn't run a 400. He had
Man,
to he had to walk a good
part of
portion
it.
of it. Yeah.
I can
So
remember. Oh man, poor Troy. I had my first CrossFit was similar. I came in, I scaled everything and thought I was doing really well. And the next day I'm like, I got this. I'm going to do RX, because it was one of those where they gave you like a free week to try CrossFit. And I was the guy at the end of class everyone clapped for, like to try to
Yes.
finish. Everyone
Yeah.
else is done and they're clapping for you. And I just remember after that, I'm like, I am never going to finish last again, because this feels so humiliating. I'm going to scale so I don't have to finish last anymore. And
Yeah.
that was my introduction of being humbled into CrossFit.
Yeah. So he's been doing CrossFit since March 2010.
March, yeah. That's awesome. So you started getting into sanctionals, and then at one point, I guess it became the open, or then
yeah.
regionals. So
Yeah.
how did that kind of all became? Because I think, was it 16 your first games? Was that the first games you went to?
No, so 2010 went to my first sectionals,
Okay.
qualified to regionals, went to regionals. And that's May. I'm into this 5, 6 months. And I find myself, I think I finished second on the podium at regionals. So I'm going to the games July 2010 in the open division.
Wow.
So I competed in the elites open division 2010, 2011, 2012. And then 2013 was my first injury setback in that I was competing at the regionals in 2013 and I ruptured my Achilles.
Oh no, I didn't know you've done that.
Yeah.
You've had some bad ones.
Yeah.
So
I've had a
that's 3
few.
shoulder surgeries and 1 Achilles.
Yeah, and I had a hip surgery, hip labrum, and um, previous to CrossFit, I had 2 knee surgeries.
All right, so I have to ask, like, you're the master of coming back from injury, because you've won 3 games, like in between and after and during some of that. What are some of like what are your key advices to people that are going through an injury that want to still compete? Like, what are the things that you have to just be doing that you thought were
Well,
like, these are good things, you should keep these going?
yeah. First and foremost, finding a good doctor, good surgeon, one
Mm-hmm.
that you trust and has, a good rapport, good history, good credentials. So first and foremost, that's important. Second is taking the time to do the rehabilitation and physical therapy. It's sometimes it's really boring stuff you have to do,
Yeah.
but it's necessary. Um, and keep moving. Like
Yeah.
even though you're like my leg, for example, on my knee and my Achilles, like it was immobilized, or at least portions of the period of recovery. And they just figure out ways, whether it's like hop on the rower and use a skateboard to put your injured foot on the skateboard and still use one leg rowing.
Mm.
Um, same with bicycling, pop that leg up on the peg and pedal away
Yeah.
until, yeah. And just, you work on upper body when strengthening when
Your
you're,
Achilles was torn, you just keep
yeah,
going and you bench press, and yeah.
yeah,
I had a client who tore his Achilles, and I literally programmed for him for like 3 or 4 months just to sit in an incline bench and just do all of his workouts right there. We
yeah,
did banded stuff. We did pull. We did bench. We did all kinds of pulling, bicep curls. You could do all kinds of stuff still.
yeah. I guess
I
that,
got really creative.
yeah, you have to. And there's always a
we
way to
skied from a
train.
seat. That's what we did.
Yeah. There's always a way to train around an injury. And, some people, they give a lot of excuses. Oh, I hurt my back, or I've hurt
Mm-hmm.
my leg, or, and it happens. But I find like movement is lotion, and it really
Mm-hmm.
helps speed up the recovery process. Also, even if on my shoulders, for example, training one side while the other one's still not able to move through that range of motion, there's some transfer. Like, I feel like you get some transfer, even strengthening one side. People are like, well, will you get uneven? I'm like, I mean, yeah, but you're going to be able to catch that back up. But I think there's definitely some transfer, just strengthening one side that will transfer naturally to the other side,
Yeah,
even
there's
while that other
research
side's
on
not.
that
Yeah,
because neurologically, even when you train unilaterally, your brain sends nerves to both sides. So you're still getting nerve movement in the other limb or to the extremities, even if
hmm
you're training one side, which is why they say you should continue to train like that. Even though you can't create the same stimulus, you can still
right.
actually get strength back.
Yeah.
So,
And also like taking that time too to like really go back and look at your mobility and
mm,
movement patterns. I think is really important. When I feel like I reach plateaus in my recovery, it's a lot of times I go back and it's because I stopped doing some of the pre-workout mobility stuff or post-workout mobility stuff. My orthopedic, he actually says, yeah, warming up's good and important, but after working out is even more important.
that's
And
good.
he also said, like, your body is doing most of its healing during the night when you're sleeping. And so the morning time is also a really good time to get you remobilize and stretch and get limber again.
Yeah. So
So
I have two questions because I know you got to get going here, and I want to ask you these. How much did nutrition play a
uh,
part into your recovery?
yeah.
Like, I know you're a big first form, supplements,
hmm
nutrition person. And then what would you say, the last question, I'll remind you of it, but what would you say some of the most proud moments that you've overcome in your injuries and in your fitness? So like, what were the moments you're like, man, I'm really proud of this moment because the story was I came back from these things.
Yeah.
So start with
Yeah,
nutrition.
nutrition I think super important, and sleep. Both
Hmm.
of those are really important things that we got to throw into our recovery game. And what we put our bodies into our bodies is, a product of what we're able to do in the gym and in
Hmm.
life in general. So I generally, I don't do this every day, but right now I'm doing actually participating in 8-week transformation challenge with First Form, and it's just kind of with that every day I'm tracking my food intake, get the scale out, and being real strict about it. And I just had a personal desire to kind of lean out a little bit after we took a trip in May. We were gone almost all
Hmm.
May traveling.
Little
So,
vacation.
yeah, so it kind of gave me this challenge, gave me inspiration to jump on board and get back on track with that. And it's been a lot of fun. Yeah, and then sleep, that's like I said, it's where our bodies do most of the healing is during that time. So if your sleep game is not up to par, it's going to show. And
Absolutely.
let's see, things I'm most proud about, since I got back from our trip in May. um, I've had some really good breakthroughs with my shoulder. I was able to start snatching again. And it was amazing to me. Like, once I started getting the mobility and the full range back, where I could, you know, successfully perform a full squat snatch in that overhead position. Because like I said, it was really tight.
Sure.
Um, Once I was able to get into that position, my numbers started to go immediately right back up. And so I
That's
was
great.
so I was so ecstatic when I finally put 125 on the bar and I took my first attempt at it and I hit it. And why I say 125 is because that was what was on the bar when I dislocated my shoulder and tore the rotator cuff. So,
To
when
rebuild
you
that
can
confidence. Yeah.
rebuild that, and, I didn't even really think about it, stress out about it too much leading up to that. But after I did it, I kind of realized, oh my gosh, I I just did that. Like,
That's awesome.
so mentally that was a real big win. And like 2 weeks later, I was able to hit 135. So yeah, I'll take those
What's your
gains.
best snatch like
My
ever?
best all time is 167.
167. Okay.
Yeah,
So
that was probably
right
like in
now,
2017 or so,
okay, so that was a
about
while
8 years
ago.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, listen, I know you're pressed for time, and I want to be very courteous that you came on and appreciate you. Guys, if you don't know Cheryl, go follow her on Instagram. She is super humble and kind. She probably hates me for telling you that she won the games. She just loves the throwdown. She would walk into your gym and you wouldn't even know it, except that she would probably whoop your butt in the workout. Which is one of my favorite moments when I jumped in a workout with you and tried to beat you and you
So
got
fun.
me. I didn't know how competitive you were until that time because there was like 5 seconds on and you got on the jump rope and like you were like, I'm like, that's why she's a champion right there because you won fair and square.
Uh, I'll have
Thanks
to
for
do it for
coming on,
rematch.
guys. Yeah, thanks for coming on and go check her out and yeah, and hopefully you can learn some of these lessons just from honestly coming back from multiple injuries. So it's more impressive to hear your story actually in the interview because I knew some of that, but I didn't know to the extent of how much you had to overcome in some of that. But
Yeah, and I just want to close it like, anything that you're going to throw yourself out competitively and compete, at the highest level, you're going to open yourself up to potential for injury. And it's not it's not a bad rap against CrossFit.
no,
That just happens in general when you are competing at a high level, I feel. So I don't want people going, oh my gosh, he's had so many surgeries. I don't want to scare people away from CrossFit and functional fitness. It's a great way to stay fit. It's a great way to, you know, just be healthy. So
yeah, and
yeah,
you're still doing it,
and I'm
which
still
is a
doing it.
testament of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, you get hurt in tennis, you can get hurt in football, you can get hurt
Hmm.
in soccer, anything. So anything that you're
Yep.
competing in, you can get hurt walking down the stairs. So
Exactly.
I'd much rather have a cool story getting hurt doing a snatch at the games. That's a more epic, legendary story. Cheryl, have a great day. Thanks for coming on,
All
and
right.
I'll tag you in some of this for social media when it's done.
Okay. Thanks, Blake.
Thanks. Have a good one.
All right.